the value is most closely associated to identity, right? The identity level, because my power of intent and whatever I'm doing has some value to me. And when value is so closely attached to my identity that some people are willing to die for their value. I mean, when people die for God, for example, that's the value that they've attached to that. So it's beyond even statement of belief. It's a foundational principle by which people define themselves. Their values could be social values, religious values, community values, personal values, ethical values, and so forth. So when people are stuck in a problem frame on some pervasive problem that lasted a long time, or stuck on a fence, unable to get off it because they're just stuck, that means that there is an inherent value into being stuck, which is fear-based, which has a stronger representation in the mind than the desire value for achieving that which they want. So in other words, there is more value attached to that situation despite the pain. And sometimes people are sitting on the fence because they cannot move, because there is equal value attached to a situation where they're stuck, and equal value attached to what they want. And they are sitting on a fence being pulled into opposite directions. So the question is now, which direction am I going to go? So now we have to step into the ethical perspective as a practitioner and determine the ecology of staying versus the ecology of moving. Well, if the ecology of moving is more beneficial to the individual than dying on a fence, which will impale them eventually, yes, then the question, then we can use the timeline thing and say, okay, imagine yourself now. First of all, imagine yourself now on that fence. You're sitting on that fence, and gravity that's working always works one way. Eventually, everything that you're stuck on you get impaled. It goes deeper and deeper until you really die. And the deeper it goes, the less time you have to live, until it reaches the critical mass, at another millimeter, and you're gone. That's how time works. Timeline going this way. So now, close your eyes, and what I want you to do, Billy, is imagine yourself sitting on this fence. It is 10 years from now, and you have sat on this fence now for 10 years. Nothing has changed, except you got older, and that impaled thing went deeper. Few of your organs are damaged, maybe going into your throat. Now your breathing apparatus is compromised. You're still gasping for breath, the metaphor. And now, from that perspective, when you are barely living and breathing, looking back at the previous 10 years that have passed, and what you see is nothing but sameness. The only change is you being impaled deeper. How are you feeling? One, he will tell me what he feels like. I feel like shit, right? On a scale of 1 to 10, what's your commitment to having this experience till the end of your life? Because a moment comes when you have been impaled, and now what's left is the last breathing moment when you can look back and evaluate that journey and see all the moments filled with regret, a doubt, all the should have, could have, never done it. What's your commitment to this, Billy? Because that's exactly where you are right now. As far as I'm looking at you, that fence is somewhere around your solar plexus. You have a little room still, but not much. It's like bamboo grows really fast, 2 inches per night. Eventually, that's how people died in China. Well, now I've brought to them the value, that the real reality of what they're really doing, because not making a decision is a decision with a particular consequence. So now we've established that, the pain point of this, and magnified it, which really means we anchored it twice through this thing. Now, let's go back to your dream. Let's take a look at your road. Perhaps you don't have all the answers how to fulfill it. You know the destination. Wouldn't it be exciting just to find out what are you going to learn across each step that you take? What new doors may open, possibilities? You may fall on your face, but heck, you can stand up and keep on walking. Now comes to the end of your life. You've achieved it. Which one of those 2 roads seems more acceptable to you? Because after all, you are driving your bus, and you can choose this road or you can choose that road, Billy. Which one? I leave it up to you. You know what I mean? That's how we do this value thing. So now, since you've established that your level of commitment to this is 10, I need to, first of all, I have to believe him that he's telling the truth, but then we could do the whole goal setting thing, right? And then I will say, Now we have a discussion with respect to strategy of what specific measurable steps they can take in order to get there. Because sometimes people are afraid of something because they haven't defined all the steps and they are just overwhelmed by the magnitude of it. Wow, I just don't know how to tackle it, I don't know what to do. Well, first of all, you've got to be committed to it, and then the rest is just a technicality, step by step, because marathon has been run only one foot in front of the other, you cannot skip it. The same as you cannot jump higher than your own ass. So you've got to train those muscles to lift you, right? That's the idea.